This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use, but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
WTL.
Capitalism is the only way, Leslie. It moves our country forward. It's what makes America great. And England okay and France terrible.
WTL.
Welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And you can feel it. It's summertime. People are talking about Paris. That must mean the Olympics
The Olympics
are here.
Yes.
And we absolutely have to talk Team USA.
USA, baby.
Both men and women's. Let's start off with the basketball.
You have to.
There's already been a lot of buzz, and
Yeah.
it's just like these NBA guys. It's never turned off.
No.
It's always high drama.
Yep.
Who can go to practice? Who's not at practice?
Who's hurt? Who's not hurt? Who's an alternate? Who's not an alternate? Why isn't the Finals MVP on the team when 3 other Celtics are?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of storylines and stuff like that. Is LeBron too old to carry this team?
How many Kardashians run on the team jet?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff is, but it is a really, really stacked team, Andy.
Yeah.
And by just looking at the odds here, you can tell USA is way out in front.
Yes, they are, and we're going to really get into it. We got a lot of fun prop bets, player props, gold medals, you name it. We got all that information in front of us. I do think, once again, this is a little bit of the hyperbole and the, just the machine that is like the NBA and their drama.
No doubt.
You're winning the games, but you're not winning these exhibition games by enough points.
Right.
South Sudan gave them a run for their money.
For sure.
Is there anything to look into that, or is that really just guys are like, look, we got it in control and these games don't matter?
Yeah, I think it is a lot of that, Andy. I think that, these guys are, all the best players on their team.
Yeah.
It's hard to take a back seat when you get on a team like this. I believe they're feeling each other out, but I believe with the leadership of LeBron James, Steph Curry, and eventually when Kevin Durant gets back on the court,
He's back.
It's gonna be really. I think they're going to run away with pretty much all of this. They just got the best top to bottom roster that I can see. Obviously, Canada has a few. France has a few. Serbia has the Joker, obviously. And Greece has Giannis as well. So there are some teams here, but you can tell with USA being minus 500 to take this thing down, the closest is Canada at plus 1,100. I believe that is truthful in who it should be. But no, I believe that Team USA will take this down, so I don't see any value on putting any long shots in there to win a gold medal for any other country.
Yeah, your next, like it was Canada, right?
Yeah.
Plus 1,100. And then Serbia, a lot of people were talking about Serbia.
Yeah.
With a couple NBA guys there, headlined by the Joker, Jokic, of course.
For sure.
But then the betting odds came out, and then that kind of hushed all the conversations, because, no, this is where it's really at.
Yeah, and
that's why I
really
like this talk.
Exactly. And you got France up there at plus 1,200, which is very good number, but they're led by a rookie, Victor Wembanyama.
Yep.
That isn't a huge point scorer. Obviously, he's a freak athlete and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you are still going up against Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
In the paint the entire time. That is 2 of the best post players in the entire NBA, which Victor Wembanyama probably isn't there yet. No, I don't see any value on putting anything on any other country other than some prop bets I have, Andy, going down the list here.
Ooh, I do like the prop bets. And every article you read, every journal, sports betting journal you read, every video that has any kind of merit that you watch on YouTube or whatever, they're like, it's not even worth betting individual games because USA is going to be such a hard, heavy favorite in every game.
Exactly, Andy. And not unless you have something that you think that a team could stay close against Team USA or something like that. But no, it's going to be really hard to find value betting on Team USA in individual games or to win here. So that's why you got to dip into these player props to not only lead Team USA in stats, stats, but lead the tournament is when you really see some value.
I mean, that has that feel the first couple, 2 or 3 weeks in the college football, world where you have these powerhouses like Michigan playing UTEP. It's like, are they going to win by 26 or can they cover the 32? It's like,
exactly.
Do you really want to bet on that?
It's really tough, Andy. It's really tough.
I'm gonna serve you up one here because I bet I know which direction you're going to go. We're mentioning a little bit beforehand, and you're talking about the Team USA assist leader with a prop. Who are you going with on this?
Yeah, Andy. Just for Team USA, you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm actually taking LeBron James at plus 500 to be the tournament's top total assists, not just
overall.
Team USA.
Okay.
You get a little bit more bang for your buck at plus 500. I believe they're going to play the most games. I believe he's going to be on the court the most, and he is going to be dishing that ball out a lot. Plus 500, I believe, is a very good value for LeBron James because that is what he is there to do, Andy. Yeah. He's there to control this team, keep making it go. He's going to love, passing out to Steph for threes, Ant-Man for threes, and, doing his little two-way with Anthony Davis as well. Yeah. I believe this is one of my favorite bets of all the Olympics, plus 500 for LeBron James, tournament top total assist leader.
Yeah, and I think the book I'm looking at has just Team USA leader, and that's a plus 350. I love the idea of getting that plus 500, getting a little bit juicier there, because I do believe Team USA is probably going to lead all these different stats.
They should.
And this is a very clever way. Say what you will about King James. He's so smart throughout his entire career. This is a way for him to get into all these highlights without making the mega dunk. Without,
no doubt.
So
I mean, he's still going to do his stuff.
Oh, sure.
You saw it in this game against Sudan. If they're in trouble, obviously the King's going to be there, and he's going to. And like you said, he's so smart about it. He's like, here's where I can insert my dominance, get my highlights, and people are going to keep talking about me as the best player in the world, even when I'm 40 years old. So another one that I would like to talk about, Andy, is not a USA player. It is a Canadian player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Okay.
He's at a plus 350, Andy, to be the top point scorer across the board.
Really?
Across the board. I believe that they will be in the finals against Team USA, and I believe that he is going to carry the load for this team, scoring-wise and assist-wise, but for sure, this guy can score the basketball. He's at a plus 350, so you know that he's going to,
he's right there.
He's right there, so I love him to be the top point scorer in the entire tournament. It just doesn't make sense to me to pick a person from Team USA in this stat.
Then it could be anybody.
Because it's a crapshoot. Jason Tatum could do it. I mean,
Anthony Edwards, I think,
Booker could do it.
Yeah.
Anybody that's hot can do it. LeBron James could do it.
Steph Curry's at plus 350.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is I'm taking it from a guy that has to carry the load on his team to even get them to the finals. So I believe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at a plus 350 is a very good future bet for top point scorer in the tournament.
Well, here's a line that's, and I like that. I agree with you. And that's just a smart way to look at it because, Team USA will probably distribute the ball around.
No doubt.
And there's going to be a different hot hand every game, probably every other quarter or every half. But I think there is some value in looking back to the Team USA as far as rebounds leader, just because. I mean, the Joker's there and all that, but Team USA is going to be in the finals.
I believe so, too.
Better chance to pile up these stats.
Yeah.
Early on, this rebound leader was a lot of money was going in on Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Now he's moved to a plus 1,100. Anthony Davis now is your favorite at plus 200.
For Team USA.
For Team USA. If you had to go one way or the other, I almost like Tatum because we saw that in the NBA Finals just a few weeks ago where his offense wasn't always there, but he contributed in other ways. I think he had like 19 boards in Game 5 or Game 6 it was. So I could see Jason Tatum saying like, all right, if I don't have to hit all these jump shots, got plenty of guys that are going to hit these jump shots.
Yeah.
I'll contribute another way. I'll go track down some rebounds at a plus 1,100. I don't know if you're going to get a better odds on a prop bet like that.
No, I agree with you with the value there, Andy.
Yeah, value.
It's just that I just don't know how many minutes Jason Tatum is going to play in these games. Obviously,
that's true.
It is good value because he can rebound the ball, but I just don't like it with four people in front of him that are better rebounders than him.
Oh, that's true.
No matter what, with Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Bam Adebayo, and LeBron James. Yeah. So I like the value. I like the value, Andy. But if I'm going to do a safer thing, I believe Bam Adebayo is going to be out on the floor a lot.
Yeah.
Look at the two guys ahead of him, Andy. Yep. Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, two prone to injury guys. You know that Bam is going to carry the minutes, carry Team USA. Yeah. I believe the plus 600 bet is a better insertion than taking a big flyer on the 1,200, 1,100 on Jason Tatum, just because I know that Bam's going to be under the basket and playing big minutes with Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid in front of him.
And he's still hungry, right? He doesn't have an NBA Finals under his belt now. He's not the
And he
MVP
saw the way
that
he's been shooting the ball in these first games, Andy. They figured out Bam Adebayo can stretch the floor, so he's going to be out on the floor. I believe the plus 600 for total rebounds for Team USA is a very good bet. Plus 600, Bam Adebayo.
There we go. That's why we got you on here.
Let's go.
Do we want to talk a little women's?
Let's do it.
Okay, well, they are way out in front.
Yes, they are.
I mean, you're looking at a minus 1,800 consensus on most books.
Yeah.
The next closest is Australia. And they're at a plus. Get this, plus 2,200.
Wowzers! Imagine what we would be favored by if we had the best women's player in the country.
Gonna go there? You're going to go there.
I'm going to go there, Andy. Caitlin Clark should be on this team. She is the best player of women's basketball in the country. Any country, she should be on Team USA. She already proved it. But, we're already – they know that they don't need her, Andy. That's why she's not on the team.
Right.
They know that they're going to smash everybody. We are, one of the biggest promoters of women's basketball in the world, obviously.
So they did have that Team USA versus Best of What's Left, or whatever they call it, WNBA
World, or whatever
Team
it was.
WNBA is what they end up calling it.
Yeah.
And Team USA was favored by 6.5 points.
Wow.
What
happened?
They actually lost the game. Wow.
They lost to the second team in America. And who was on that team?
Caitlin Clark.
She was a starter? Yeah.
Iowa, take your flowers. Take a bow, Iowa.
No.
You have the best women's player, and
she should be on the team. She got snubbed. But the biggest, there's no value on betting on him, plus minus 1,800, Andy. The only bet that I really like, Andy, is most total points scored in the tournament. Asia Wilson, I believe, is a very good bet, plus 120 right now. I believe that's the only value bet that I can see. She is going to run away with this MVP as well. So Asia Wilson, points scored, plus 120 is my big bet for women's basketball. They got the gold locked up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of extracurricular stuff going into this, but I think Asia Wilson is a very smart play as far as that goes, because they are going to be feeding her the ball a lot, and they want her to get this MVP and all those things. And somebody's got to be the villain, and she seems to be happy being the villain, so let's get it. Let's get it.
No, Team USA all the way. They're going to do it. A lot of people are going to look at Breanna Stewart as well, but the last time these two played together, Asia Wilson scored at least 14 points a game in every single game. So Stewart, on the other hand, would have games with single-digit points, and every now and then a game where she would explode for a higher ceiling. But I believe Asia Wilson is the steady, and she's gonna have more points than anybody in this tournament. So plus 120, if you can find it up to plus 200, grab that. Just shop it around. Asia Wilson to lead the scoring in the tournament.
Well, all right, you heard the horn. That means we're up against, but let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. World class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for? Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
The Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And, we talked a little Olympics, and I'm sure we'll get back to the Olympics. That's just too much fun. International flavor there. Somebody being poured into some of these books.
Yeah, let's go.
But we also have another huge event happening across the pond in Manchester, UK. That is UFC 304.
304, baby.
Another loaded card.
It is.
I mean,
it's awesome.
This thing is crazy. And it's so full. We're actually going to start in the prelims here. And we got to talk about another fan favorite, especially with the UK Meatball Molly McCann.
Yeah.
And she's a heavy favorite over Bruna Brazil.
Yeah.
young lady out of Brazil, but she is, she's a long shot here. Plus 285. Get back to Meatball. She's a minus 360 favorite.
Yeah, Andy. And Bruna Brazil's, the only thing I will say about her, Andy, is that her grappling skills are superior to Molly McCann's. Mm-hmm. So this is why Meatball Molly mustn't let her opponent get close.
Get her on the ground.
She needs to go hard at her with her striking and look for a quick knockout. Not only is Molly a proficient kickboxer, but Brazil just doesn't have too strong of a chin, Andy. Yeah. So the evidence being that 3 of her 4 career losses have happened by KO/TKO. So the value bet that I'm looking at, Andy, right now, because you're not getting much value on the money line here.
No.
Outright. So Molly McCann to win by KO, TKO, or DQ is at a plus 200, which I believe is very good value of something that probably is going to happen. I believe Molly's going to put on a show for Manchester and really put it to Bruna Brazil and knock her out. So I believe plus 200 is a very good straight across bet for that.
The hometown favorite, it's going to be lit, just like it was, what was that, a year ago?
In London.
Yeah, Fight Night in London, where it was kind of her coming out party there.
For sure.
Dave Portnoy was there, the whole 9 yards.
Barstool athlete.
Yep. And it does feel like these two fighters are, as of recently, kind of going in different directions. Molly is coming off of a win.
Yeah.
Brazil's coming off of a loss.
Yeah.
And it just feels like you mentioned, they might be serving one up here for old Meatball.
I really do believe so, Andy, and I've been watching Embedded all week. They've been following Meatball Molly around. She just has this energy about her in her hometown, showing murals of her and Patty everywhere. It's awesome. She has her own restaurant and all that kind of stuff, showing fans. I believe she's going to be ready for this fight, and I believe she's going to knock her out. Plus 200, Molly Meatball to win by KO.
All right, should we move up to the main card?
Let's do it.
We're going to start with the featherweight bout here.
Yeah.
We have the number 6 contender in the world.
Yeah.
Arnold Allen, A squared, is your favorite at 230, 238, 235, depending where you're looking, against Gigi Chikadez out of Georgia. But he is your 10th ranked contender in this featherweight class, but he is your plus 200 underdog.
Yeah, Andy. And, a lot of people are, that I've been talking to are scratching their heads why Arnold Allen would be the favorite coming off 2 losses. Look at who he's fought, Andy. One was maybe the best boxer in all of UFC, Max Holloway, blessed. And then Evlov is his last loss.
He's just beating everybody.
With 2 of the best fighters in the UFC, you really can't do any, and neither one of them could knock this guy out, Andy. Both of them were decisions. Both if you can go 5 rounds with Max Holloway, you are a very good fighter, and he did that down in Kansas City.
The highlight couldn't even go 5 rounds.
The highlight couldn't even do it. He's a little bit different style of fighter than Arnold Allen. But
he did go 4 rounds and 4 minutes and 59 seconds.
He's the heavy favorite, Andy, despite the fact that he back-to-back losses. Looking at Allen to win, I think it's the right play here. Allen has held his own when it comes to striking and has an edge in grappling compared to Chikadez. For that reason, backing Allen to win, I'm full across for it. I believe Arnold Allen wins this one very easily.
It's not too juicy for you at minus 230?
No, and that's what I was going to say. This is a very good parlay piece for anybody looking to throw 2 or 3 fights in with a little cushion there, because I believe this is definitely going to happen. So if you pair this with Molly McCann, a plus 200 and a minus 330, or wherever you can find it, I believe that's a pretty good parlay starter pack anyways.
There we go. Yeah, that's just 2 legs. We might get some.
We might
a little
throw a
stretched
couple
out
more
there.
on there.
A little foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
All right, should we move on up the card to the middleweight?
Let's do it.
We got Gregory Rodriguez, another guy out of Brazil, but he is your 120, 150 underdog to Christian Leroy Duncan, another hometown favorite. He is your minus 140 favorite.
Yeah, all these guys are favored for some reason, Andy. No, Duncan comes into this fight with an MMA record of 10-1, and he's 3-1 in the UFC. Duncan is averaging 5.96 significant strikes per minute, and he has a striking accuracy of 62%, which is awesome.
Yeah.
He is absorbing 3.82 strikes and has a striking defense of 50%. His grappling has not been as good, Andy, but averaging just 0.4 takedowns per every 15 minutes. Duncan has a takedown accuracy of just 14% and takedown defense of a way better 50%. Okay. So Duncan is moderate size favor here in this fight, and he looks to be on the right side to back here. I believe he should win this fight.
Boy.
While Duncan's striking and grappling is not as strong as Rodriguez, his defense and accuracy is much better. That's what I like about this fight.
I mean, and Duncan is just so much bigger and heavier.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder what their walking weight, everyday weight is, because they weighed in at Rodriguez at 185, Duncan at 197. And I bet Duncan had to cut weight to get here, and I'm sure Rodriguez cut a little weight too. So, I mean, you're talking about one dude that's just much bigger than the other here.
Yeah, it seems that Duncan walks around, like you said, at a weight, heavier weight.
205,
and
210.
Rodriguez is just kind of staying what he is, maybe cut a little bit. But the thing about Duncan is he has a higher finish rate, Andy, as well, having won all of his UFC fights by KO. Because of this, backing Duncan is the way to go. I'm looking right now, Andy, on method of victory, and Duncan to win by KOs at a plus 140. That could be a very good parlay piece as well, Andy. That is the most likely outcome of this fight is Christian Leroy Duncan wins by knockout. Plus 140. I believe it's a very, very good play.
All right. Well, it looks to me like the only way Rodriguez could pull this victory off is if he can get him to the ground, if he can get this into a wrestling match.
Yeah.
But you got to think that's the scouting report everybody's looking at, including Leroy Duncan in his camp. There's no way that they're going to allow Rodriguez to turn this into a wrestling match.
No, I agree, Andy. And what should have stood out to folks when I was doing my kind of rundown there is the takedown defense of 50%. Yeah. And that's going to be even more amped up for this fight because Christian Leroy Duncan, like you said, in camp, that's all he's been talking about is takedown defense, takedown defense, takedown defense. And when I get my shot, put him to sleep. So that is what is probably going to happen, most likely outcome. And I believe the plus 140 for the knockout is the best value play that you're going to get on this particular fight.
Yeah, I think this one goes along with a lot of the other the previous two fights. We just don't want to overthink it.
No, you really can't
lean
overthink
into the
it.
strengths here.
Yeah, you just don't overthink this, Andy. Another thing that I want to point out on these fight lines, all three of them, Andy, is that the over/under for these fight rounds for this Christian Leroy Duncan versus Gregory Rodriguez is just 1.5. So the over is at minus 145. The under is at plus 114. Christian could get him early, Andy, and really knock him out in the first round, which you would get that value of the plus 114. Yeah. So I believe that's the way I would go is under on 1.5 rounds. For Molly McCann, Andy, a lot of people are going on that over 2.5 rounds. I believe that should be an under. I believe she's going to come out as really fired up.
Because that's only going to be 3 rounds.
It's only a 3-round fight. Yeah. So I believe under 2.5 rounds is the play there. That's a plus 114 on DraftKings as well. So I am backing the under on that fight as well. On the Arnold Allen fight, it's over 2.5 rounds at a minus 238. They believe Arnold Allen is going to string that along, which I believe
that's what he's done.
That is what he's done. So you have to look at method of victory for Arnold Allen as well, Andy, and that would go along with decision as at a minus 110, which would probably be your best value play because he is probably going to win by decision with nothing crazy going on with a KO or a submission on either side. So that's the way I would go with betting those rounds, and that's the way I would go with the decision. The decision for Arnold Allen, the knockout by Molly McCann, and the knockout by Christian Leroy Duncan.
No doubt about that last one there. Christian Leroy Duncan just pulled it up here, wins 80%. 80% of his fights by KO or TKO. Yeah. And Rodriguez on the other side, he wins nearly 70% of his fights by KO or TKO. You can't beat it.
It's going to be a really good fight, Andy.
One way or the other.
One way or the other, but I believe that the hometown boy will get it done. Christian Leroy Duncan by KO plus 140, I believe, is the play.
All righty, Mr. Parlay Pounder. You got to have a parlay play for us.
Well, I do, Andy. And I just gave you 3 pieces, maybe 4 that you can mix and match there, Andy. But I'm going to wait until we get further into this main card to give it to the people. You have to stick around for the second round of fights here to see what I'm going to do. I'm doing a 3-teamer. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say right now. Mr. Patty the Batty might be involved.
a little pat of the Batty, huh? All right, well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And we only got halfway through the spectacle. The betting spectacle, the wager, worldwide wagering that is UFC 304.
Yep.
It's so big they don't got one main event. They got two main events. Co-main events.
Two belts on the line. This is going to be awesome.
And we're that's where we're starting. We're starting right on the main card here. But we're going to start with a lightweight bout. A young man from England.
Yeah.
Going to be a huge hometown favorite here. But he's not your betting favorite.
No, he is not.
That is Paddy the Baddie is your underdog to Bobby King Green.
Yep.
Green has been he's minus 120, minus 130 is your favorite. But I was just looking at his overall record. It's insane, like 32-15.
Yeah.
This dude's been around.
He has been, Andy.
For a long, long time. But here we are at UFC 304, and he is your favorite against an up-and-comer, kind of a fan favorite, who is coming off of a win.
Yeah, for sure, Andy. Paddy is a controversial fan favorite, like you just said. Love him or hate him, up-and-comer. Because of all the drama, it's easy for Paddy to, simultaneously be overrated by his fans and underrated by the haters.
Yeah.
In truth, he's an excellent grappler, solid wrestler, and dangerous but flawed kickboxer, Andy.
He's in better shape than he was.
No doubt. He's taking it a lot more serious, and he has to because he's getting into ranked fights. Yeah. This could skyrocket him into the top 15, which is a huge thing for him. The ideal circumstance for Paddy here, Andy, is to gain top position, but I'm not sure he'll be able to do so without, first scoring a knockout. So his takedowns are straightforward in most base with, his great athleticism and technical transition. Yeah. The type of takedowns Green typically slides away from with relative ease. Yeah, so this is this is a very hard thing for Paddy to do. If Pimblett can hurt this man first. However, it is likely that he can get on top and dominate him. So that is what I think is going to happen. He's going to get him with one of these kicks. He's going to hurt him, and then he's going to be able to get on top of him and dominate this fight, Andy. Yeah. That's why I think the value play of Paddy to win by submission is such good value here, Andy. At plus 450, I believe it's a very likely thing to happen.
Wow.
To get him down, to get Bobby scrambling, and then I just don't believe his wrestling is on par with Paddy, and Paddy's going to find his way to make this guy tap. I know that Bobby King Green is a very tough guy, but if he hurts him and gets on top of him, I don't believe he has much of a chance.
Yeah, then it's over. And you make a great point there because King Green, his average fight time is over 11 minutes, about 11 and a half minutes per fight, meaning he does stretch him out, and there's not too many times that he's getting KO'd or he TKOs or KOs his opposition.
Yeah.
He stretches these fights out, but I do believe Paddy's going to want to put on a show in front of that home crowd.
No doubt about it, Andy. And I do generally believe, Andy, as I'm sitting here, that Green, to be the much better fighter right now, at one point back in 2014, King was ranked in the top 5, Andy, and likely a single win away from the title. Yep. But, however, it's undeniable that these two are moving in different directions. Yeah. Green has already reached his peak and slowly falling down the ladder. Yeah. Like I said, he's in top 5. Now he's down to 15, whereas Paddy is on the rise. They are serving this one up for him in Manchester, in his hometown. Yeah. I believe that Paddy's going to win this fight. So if you don't feel like he can get that submission, there's still great value in picking Paddy at that plus 110 right now, money line. So I love this fight. And like you said, Andy, betting rounds is a good way to go about this fight as well. Over 2.5 is at minus 150 right now.
Like that.
I believe, like you said, this could get stretched out, especially if Paddy hurts him early and just does top control. But I do believe the best value play for this is for Paddy to win by submission.
I like that too, and we've seen him do that so many times before. Yeah, that's really a strong suit. All right, shall we move on up the card?
Let's get into these championship fights, Andy. I am ready.
The heavyweight title belt is on the line. Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Heavy favorite, 350 favorite, minus 350 favorite over Curtis Blades, the American, one of the few Americans on this card. We're going across the pond here, but Blades, I feel like he's one of those heavyweights that everyone kind of respects and loves and talk, but you lose sight of him. You forget about him.
You really do, Andy. He's one of those guys that's he's there. He's one of the best. Everybody knows it.
Yep.
Really nice
Number
guy.
4 contender in the world.
Really nice guy. One of the only heavyweights that is a very good grappler, very good wrestler. Yep. So this is not a walk in the park for interim champion Tom Aspinall.
No, it's not.
But this is right in his backyard. He, like I was saying, I was watching Embedded this morning, and Tom Aspinall is 20 minutes away from the venue.
Yeah.
He is in his backyard. Yeah. He loves it. And Aspinall is an overwhelming favorite, Andy, but I believe I'm going to get into the rounds here, Andy. And just to start, the fight to start round 2 is at a -110, and I believe it is one of the best
just to get
straight across bets that you
over
can get.
One round. Over one round,
okay. Andy. Just as this goes, Blades has seen 8 of his last 10 enter at least round 2. Both fighters certainly have the power to end this fight quickly, but seeing that neither fighter has lost much by finish, backing that fight to enter round 2, I think is the best bet of the fight.
There was so much talk and so much written about Tom Aspinall being injured and his injury status, and that's really cooled off the past couple of weeks. Where are we at with that? He's okay. He's 100%. What's going on here?
He is. He's 100%. He's saying he's best shape of his life. Obviously, you're going to say that going into a title defense in your hometown, in front of your home crowd. Another thing just backing Tom Aspinall to win by KO, I just don't see the value in it. It's at -175 to win by KO.
Yeah. Well, he wins 80% of his fights by KO.
Exactly, Andy. So just the only value bet that I could make, Andy, is Curtis Blades winning this fight by decision, somehow getting the decision over Tom Aspinall.
It's happened.
That would mean that this fight goes the distance, which I believe it will not.
No way.
But Curtis Blades to win by decision at +1,000, I believe it's the only value bet in the entire thing. I believe that starting round 2 is my best bet. But I do believe Tom Aspinall knocks him out and retains the championship here.
It does feel like Aspinall is on another level right now. He just keeps going up and up the ranks, and that's why he's holding the belt right now. It's an interim belt, but he's going to have it out right here.
No doubt.
If he just plays his cards right. And to your point about going over a round, his average fight time over his entire UFC career, and granted he's 14-3 overall.
Exactly.
Is 2 minutes 10 seconds.
Yeah, no doubt.
I feel like if this gets into round 3, Tom's going to be like, "Well, we got to do something here."
We got to do something. No, this will be bad for Tom if it does go longer than what we're saying here, Andy. But no, like you said, Tom Aspinall only seen one of his UFC fights make it out. Make it to the second round, which is nuts. I just believe Curtis Blades is going to keep that distance at least for that first round before Tom starts closing the gap on him. So that is my only bet that I'm looking at, other than might throw a little money on Curtis Blades just because I don't think Tom is. I believe he's very, very good, Andy, but I don't believe he's head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, especially a seasoned fighter like Curtis Blades.
He has been getting a lot of publicity that kind of leads you to believe that, but come on, Curtis Blades actually has him on reach, and I thought maybe Tom would have a little bit of an edge there. He does not.
He does not.
All right, should we move on up to the main
event? Let's go.
One of my favorites ever since we started this show. Leon Edwards is your belt holder. He is the champion of the welterweight division, taking on Bilal Muhammad, who is your number 2 contender in the world. This is the second time now that these two have squared off. The first time Leon got the better of Muhammad. That's why he is your -250 consensus favorite. And I think that all adds up to me. I think Edwards should be your -250 favorite.
Like you said, the first fight, Edwards versus Muhammad, was right before Edwards fought Nate Diaz. It ended in the second round for an eye poke. Muhammad could not go on. He lost his eye pretty much. I don't know how he got it fixed or whatever. He's back. But no, I believe it was just what was going to happen. I do believe, Andy, that this fight probably goes the distance. So one of my best bets for this is for the over on rounds, which is at over 4.5, but that's all the way down at a -220, Andy. So it doesn't have much value, but I do believe it is the most likely outcome for this fight. I do believe Rocky, a.k.a. Leon Edwards, is going to win this fight. I think he's going to win it by a landslide, but it's just like Leon does it. He's just going to put the clamps on him. kind of, he's just a better fighter. He's just a better overall fighter.
Going to get his back and take it to the mat. Muhammad, he's not that bad of a grappler either, so he'll oblige. He'll go and Muhammad actually wins 74% of his fights by decision.
No doubt.
I mean, he's good at grappling. He's good at extending fights as well. So yeah, I don't want to call it a snoozer, but it does feel like these two are just going to really be measured in their attacks, and it's probably going to get to the mat.
No, it's a lot like what you thought Leon versus Usman would be. Mm-hmm. Just a wrestling match, both of them on the ground the entire time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that first fight went crazy when he got that head kick right at the end, but Edwards and Muhammad have both seen 8 of their last 10 UFC fights go the distance. Therefore, backing the same here would be the lean at -200 for that fight to go the distance. I believe is the best thing you can do in this fight.
Both of these fellows are like mirror images of each other. They both weighed in at 170. Edwards 6 foot, Muhammad 5'11". Both guys 22-3. 23-3. Both guys coming off a win. This deserves to be the title matchup here. The main event card. Yeah. And the belt's on the line.
Belt's on the line. I mean, you have to.
I just feel like there's no way I could see myself betting Muhammad at a plus 205, but usually that plus 200 bet, I'm thinking there's got to be some good value there, but I just don't feel it in this one at all.
I just don't feel it, and I know it feels like we're just going down the list here, Andy, and picking every person from England, but they kind of do this in the UFC.
They do.
When they have a pay-per-view in Brazil. Yep. In Las Vegas, in Abu Dhabi, they try to get their guys in there that are from the area, from Australia when it's in Perth and all that kind of stuff. They try to line their guys up in favorable matchups. Yeah. I believe this is what's going on. I believe Belal Muhammad is a talker. I do not believe he should be number 2 in welterweight, and I believe Leon Edwards is going to show him.
Well, all righty, Mr. Parlay Pounder. Now, let's get into that parlay play.
Yeah, Andy. You can, like I said, those first plays that we're talking about in the original segment here, Andy, are all good pieces. And I'm taking 2 of those into account right now.
Okay.
The first one is Christian Leroy Duncan, plus 140. For the knockout. I believe that is going to happen. The second one, Arnold Allen, money line, minus 230. I believe that is a lock. And then what we just talked about, Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad, over 4.5 rounds, minus 220, Andy. You put all 3 of these together for a plus 400 parlay. You put $25 on that to receive 125.
There we go. See, you got that one little plus money bet in there. Yep. Jack that whole thing up to a plus 400.
And I love it. Christian Leroy Duncan is knocking this guy out, Andy. Gregory Rodriguez stands no chance. Then, like I said, Arnold Allen money line is a lock. Minus 230, and then over 4.5 rounds for Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad, minus 220. All 3 together, plus 400, 25 to win 125.
You heard it. You heard it from the Parlay Pounder, folks. There it is. UFC 304, and that is your parlay play from WTL.
Yes.
Take a quick minute here to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. World class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back again.
And we got to talk a little Team USA.
Paris, baby.
The Olympics are upon us.
Let's do it.
And you know, if they're playing a sport professionally, or I guess or amateurly or something here, there's a betting line out on it. So we got to talk about it.
We have to talk about it.
We got to talk about it. We got to put some money on it. We got to put our money where our mouth is.
Yep.
And we've been talking a lot of golf lately.
Yes.
PGA Tour, a lot of these majors, they do now allow the live golfers to come over.
Yep.
Saw Bryson DeChambeau playing with Trump. How about that?
That was awesome. That was one of the best YouTube videos I've ever seen. I mean, obviously, I'm a big Trump supporter, so that was so much much fun. They shot a 50 together. That was, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is hilarious.
Old Donald Trump did get an eagle on his own.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. And Bryson DeChambeau's out there.
Yeah.
And he's got some pretty wild videos over the years on social media.
No doubt.
And I always think there's no way,
you can push that.
Yeah, we've seen it now. We've seen it, Nope.
Yeah.
Now he's just shooting around.
Just crazy. You can go to a video trying to go, under 50 with Paige Sporonic.
Yeah.
Next week, Donald Trump.
Then Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's just awesome. I love that he's doing it. Great page, all that kind of stuff, and it's just a very good video.
Yeah.
They did it really well. It's hilarious.
All right, so we're talking golf, and we're talking Paris. We're talking the Olympics, and the Americans have dominated all 4 majors this year, winning all of them. That for the 11th time, a USA-born individual has won all the majors.
Yeah.
And Xander Schauffele won the PGA Championship, the British Open. Scotty Scheffler, of course, the Masters. Then we were just talking about our boy BDC Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes,
won
sir.
the U.S. Open. You gotta like the Americans' odds here in Paris, and the format really does kind of mimic or mirror PGA Tour play.
Yeah, Andy, like you just said, the Olympic golf competition will be similar to PGA Tour.
Yeah.
The competition will be individual stroke play tournament consisting of 72 holes played over 4 days, just like anything in the PGA. The golfer with the lowest score at the end of the 4 rounds will win the gold medal. The second and third place finishers will receive silver and bronze.
Yep. So I know you have a couple favorites that you're looking at, or your favorites here. Do you want to run down the list of who you're looking at?
Yeah, if you're talking about favorites, Andy, I believe you can't go wrong with the 2 American guys here, and that's why they're at the top of the list. Scotty Scheffler at plus 330 and Xander Schauffele at plus 600.
Yep.
I believe the best value play out of anything is the plus 600 for Xander. Not only did he just win the Open Championship last week,
there you go.
He won this tournament, the Olympics, in 2020. He has the gold medal hanging around his neck already. Xander Schauffele, the hottest golfer in golf, plus 600, I believe, is the end-all, be-all, best play you can do here, Andy.
Really hard to go against that.
It really is.
Yep.
If you want a couple guys down the list that are not American that I believe can win this tournament,
let's hear it.
I got Tom Kim is my really far one out there. He's at a plus 3,000, Andy.
Okay, that's your long shot.
Yeah, Tom Kim came over in Europe and played this course last year, finished 4th in the DP World Tour. It's a course that fits him perfectly. You plop the driver into play, hit the iron, hopefully the putter gets hot. I believe he has the tactics to win this tournament.
Okay.
Tom Kim, plus 3,000, South Korea golfer. I believe he is the best long shot that you have. Another long shot at plus 2,000, Andy, is Victor Hovland, Norway golfer, plus 2,000. In my opinion, we're getting this price because of his recent form. I view this very similarly to his third-place finish at the PGA Championship just a few months ago. Hovland ranked 5th in my model. It just is a guy that I think can win this tournament. So I believe Victor is a very good long shot play at plus 2,000. So those are my 2 guys. If I'm not going to go with my Americans, which I am, I'm going with Xander, plus 600. Go Schauffele.
Yeah, and I've been on Scheffler, but once again, he's your plus 300, plus 350 favorite. So there's just a little bit more value to go with the hot hand here in Xander.
I love the hot hand here, Andy. I love Xander, the way he's playing. But you can't go wrong with a plus 330 bet on Scotty Scheffler either.
All right, you want to talk a little men's swimming?
Yeah, it's not men's, Andy, that I'm looking at.
Oh, well, there is no more Michael Phelps.
There is
what's
no
there to
Phelps.
talk about?
You got to kind of get out of that. But no, if you're looking to put some money on the red, white, and blue, Andy, this is the event to do it.
Red, white, and blue,
the 100-meter butterfly for women. Gretchen Walsh, Andy, is at a minus 115. Gretchen Walsh is the favorite, and she's the one everyone is going to be betting on in this competition. She just broke the world record in the 100-meter butterfly. In the trials, she is in multiple events, but this is her best event. If you could find her at a minus 115 to 120 range, that seems about where you want her to be, and she is going to take the gold medal. You're not going to find a better favorite on the American team because all these are inflated. You're going to see a lot of Americans minus 500, minus 600, minus 1,000.
Yeah.
This is a very good play if you want to bet on the red, white, and blue. Minus 115, Gretchen Walsh is going to take home the 100-meter butterfly gold medal.
Well, she must be a speedster because she's way out in front in the 50-meter freestyle. She's a plus 500 overall favorite.
Just one of the best swimmers in the world. But this is where you can cash in on a very good value bet. Minus 115 to minus 120 range. Gretchen Walsh, 100-meter butterfly.
Yeah, that women's team must just be stacked because all the relays there are way out in front as far as plus 450 in the 100-meter freestyle.
We are the superpower in swimming. We are.
Katie Ledecky's way out in front. 800-meter minus 400 favorite.
Probably her last Olympics, so make sure that you're tuning in. Andy, what I want to really get into, Andy, is what I love about the Olympics, not only basketball, swimming, all this kind of stuff. Track and field is probably my favorite thing to watch.
Okay.
And that is where the U.S. really grabbed their medals in my mind. We start adding up. And there are 4 names that I want to focus on here. I don't really have specific bets for them, Andy, but I want to get these out to the people. These are the 4 people that we need to be talking about.
All right, let's hear it.
Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone for the 400-meter hurdles. Look out for her to break the world record, Andy. She's at a minus 500 right now. Not a lot of value for her to, win a lot of money on her. But unless you see some, favorable matchups and breaking world records and stuff like that, can you bet on her? But Sydney McLaughlin is going to win this 400-meter hurdles, and she's going to do it by a landslide. So that is my first one that you got to look at.
Okay.
My second one is Grant Holloway, USA, in the 100-meter hurdles. He is going to run away with this, Andy. This is one of the best Olympians that we got. 100-meter hurdles, he is going to, if you could lap people in the 100-meter hurdles, he would do it.
He's a minus 500 favorite.
Exactly. And he is going to, just like Sydney there, he is going to do it. This is another one that you got to look out, and it's just going to be such great TV, Andy, because it's going to be red, white, and blue finishes.
Gold,
and then we're waiting. Oh, there comes Brazil.
A whole hurdle behind.
The last one I want to talk about, Andy, is Gabby Thomas in the 200-meter. She's going to run away with this one as well. I believe that these are 3 of the best athletes that we have on Team USA, and three people that are going to break world records in Paris. So make sure you tune in. I can't wait for it. Olympics is one of my favorite things.
Now, Thomas, she might be your best because I'm still seeing her at plus money. Plus 100 to win the 200 meters. So that might be your best bet there. Mackenzie Long is behind her at a plus 650. Yeah. And that's another one of those deals where we might see USA. Yeah. I mean,
all up on the podium.
Yeah.
All up on the podium.
Just these universities, whether it's Oregon, Nebraska, they're so good at track and field, indoor, outdoor events, world championships. Yeah. And then they just take that on over to the Olympics. And we're just so deep with these athletes that, that's where the USA really starts to
no doubt about it.
Adding up the golds. Do you have any odds over there on overall number of medals? Golds?
Yes, I do, Andy. And
I'm just curious. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. Where? Okay. Give me. The ones that everybody wants to bet on, Andy, and it's not USA, but what I've been hearing is the Netherlands. You want to go under on their gold medal count at under 16.5. Germany, you want to go under on their gold medal count at 10.5. Japan, you want to go under on their medal count, gold medal count, 15.5. The only one that everybody's talking about, Andy, that you could win some real money is France on over gold medals at 24.5.
Whoa!
People are thinking France is just great for this, Andy, and I guess I kind of got to get behind it if so many people are talking about it. But you're looking at the USA, it's 40.5 gold medals at a minus 145 bet. Yeah. You have to believe that that's probably going to happen. Yeah. Overall medals, Andy, USA 119.5 total medals, minus 120 bet to go over on that.
Yeah, I'm looking at a minus 750, just most medals overall, and China's your next in line at a plus 350. So yeah, USA is probably going to dominate once again at the Olympics.
Yeah,
I kind of pick your poison, but the track and field is where you're going to see a lot of those gold, silver, and bronze medals be reeled in. I do that under bet for Germany. That just seems so low to me.
Yeah,
does Germany just not care about track and field? What's going on here?
Just what I've been reading, Andy, the German Olympics team has just kind of gone down the ladder over the last few games. So I think I'm going to take this under as well. It's only 10.5 gold medals, but they've had double-digit gold medals in every single Olympics since 1992, and even before that, East and West Germany, basically 10 or more in every single Olympics. So I'm going under. The country is just lacking domination in so many sports that, like you're saying, it's going to be hard. I think they'll get some medals. They'll obviously place in some stuff. It's going to be really hard for them to get those gold medals. That's why I'm taking the under. So I'm just reading this stuff. I'm not for them, against them, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm for Team USA. But what I said about France, Andy, is over 24.5 medals. That's a plus money bet. That's why people are getting on that train, Andy, because you can still get that at a plus 125 for over 24.5 medals. So
these colors don't run.
Nope.
They don't run for me, JaBron.
They don't run.
USA all the way.
USA all the way.
Over USA, under everybody else.
Let's go. I like it.
Well, how about do it for us this week, folks? Be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-City Radio and their Facebook page. We're over on X, formerly known as Twitter. And if you haven't already, please check out our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, all the things. And JaBron, you're holding down the old TikTok, aren't you?
Check us out at WTL Sports Betting on TikTok. Obviously, we will have some Olympic videos out there. Maybe a little LeBron James prop every once. And then, obviously, UFC 304. Check us out on TikTok, YouTube. It'll be fun.
For JaBron, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Classen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.